We are in one of the darkest and coldest times of year when daylight reaches its shortest period and the nights are the longest. And this time of year has brought about many celebrations of the return of light, kind of prayerful celebrations, which evoke the feeling of fear that people have when light is gone and darkness reigns. There are celebrations all over the world of this time of year, the winter solstice, from the ancient Roman holiday of Saturnalia, which happened around the same time as Christmas and probably presaged it. The Persian celebration of Yalta, which celebrated their sun god's return, and you can see some of the traditional foods that are used in that celebration. Many native celebrations, of course, were very connected to nature in those cultures, from the Hopi Indians in Arizona that celebrated Soyal, to the Incans in Peru that celebrated Inti Raymi, and actually still do to this day, except in June, because in the southern hemisphere, that is their winter solstice. Of course, in Antarctica, where the solstice time marks almost no light at all, as opposed to summer where there's light all day, there's a midwinter celebration. And in Scandinavia, similarly, at the opposite pole, there is St. Lucia's Day, where the solstice is also celebrated. And even in parts of the world where the solstice might not be as dramatic, like in China, where parts of which are closer to the equator, there is the end of the harvest season festival, also around this time, called Dongji, which includes special costumes and foods in the celebration. Now, Jewish tradition has our own stories and heritage around the solstice time. For example, when the first human being, according to Jewish mythology, Adam the first, noticed that the light was growing shorter and shorter and was almost gone, he became very frightened and he thought that the light and the world were ending. And he prayed, it said, for 8 days and 8 nights for the light to return. And when it finally did, he celebrated and said hallelujah and knew that the world would go on forever. And of course, those 8 days and 8 nights are premeditators of our own Hanukkah celebration, which comes around this time of year also, increasing the light as we do, lighting candles, to parallel the way the light is increasing around this time of year. And so, as families this year might be celebrating Christmas or have celebrated Hanukkah or are celebrating any of these worldly celebrations, I hope we feel connected to people around the world who are noticing the patterns of light and celebrating the end of days growing shorter and the beginning of days growing longer. May this season bring us a sense of connection and warmth and good health to all.